She said, "If you don't like me partying with my exes, that's a you problem." I said, "You're right," and I just solved it. Then I packed my stuff, moved into my own place, and posted a picture of my new key with the caption "Problem solved." Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. This all went down about a year ago, but I've been lurking on here long enough to know stories like this blow up. Figured I'd share mine because, looking back, it's a textbook case of how ignoring red flags turns into a full-on fire. I'm Alex, 28 at the time, working as a software engineer in a mid-sized city. Decent job, stable life. Nothing flashy, but I was the guy who showed up. My girlfriend Sarah, 26, was in marketing for a small firm. We met through mutual friends 3 years earlier, and at first, it was solid. She was outgoing, fun, the kind of person who lit up a room. I was more low-key, happy to chill at home or grab dinner after a long day coding. But let's rewind a bit to set the stage. I was loyal to a fault. Sarah had this thing about living her best life, which translated to weekend parties, club hops, and what she called girls' nights out. I didn't mind at first. I trusted her, and hey, everyone needs space. But over time, those nights started including her exes. Not just one, but a rotating cast. There was Jake, her college fling who was always just a friend now, popping up in group photos with his arm around her. Then Mike, the high school sweetheart she'd run into at bars. She'd post stories online, all smiles and shots, tagging them like it was no big deal. I'd bring it up gently, not accusatory, just sharing how it made me feel uneasy. "Babe, it's weird seeing you out with exes all the time. Makes me feel like I'm not enough." Her response? Always the same deflection. "They're part of my social circle, Alex. If you're insecure about it, that's on you." Gaslighting 101, right? But I loved her, so I'd back off, convince myself I was overreacting. Flashback to one night. I had a big project deadline, stayed up late coding while she was out. She stumbled in at 3 a.m., reeking of booze and perfume that wasn't hers. "Had a blast with the crew," she said, crashing into bed without a kiss. The next morning, her phone buzzed with texts from Jake. "Last night was epic. Let's do it again soon." I saw it by accident, felt my stomach drop, but when I asked, she rolled her eyes. "Jealous much? It's harmless fun. I sacrificed a lot for us. There was the time I skipped a work networking event, could have led to a promotion, to drive her home from a party because she was too tipsy. Or the weekends I'd plan quiet dates, only for her to bail last minute for spontaneous outings with her crew, exes included. I'd wait up, alone, scrolling through her posts where she looked happier without me. It built this quiet resentment, but I never blew up. I thought commitment meant working through it. Meanwhile, she'd compare me subtly. "Jake's so adventurous. He's always up for anything." Or, "Mike knows how to party without getting all possessive." It chipped away at me, making me feel like a backup plan, the safe guy she settled for while chasing thrills. The emotional abandonment hit hardest. We'd have nights where I'd try to connect, cook dinner, suggest a movie, and she'd be glued to her phone, laughing at memes from her ex-group chats. "Why can't you just relax?" she'd say if I pointed it out. I started questioning myself. Was I too boring? Too committed? The confusion gnawed at me during long drives to work, staring at the road, wondering why my loyalty felt like a weakness. But I stayed, thinking things would balance out. Spoiler, they didn't. It all came to a head one Friday. I'd seen her latest post, a blurry club pic with Jake's face smushed against hers, captioned, "Old flames, new memories fired." My heart sank, but I waited until she got home. No yelling, just calm. "Sarah, this partying with exes thing, it's crossing lines for me. We need to talk about boundaries." She didn't even look up from her phone at first, then sighed dramatically. That sigh was the prelude to the storm. Sarah set her phone down, crossed her arms, and fixed me with this smug, pitying look, like I was a kid throwing a tantrum. We were in our living room, the one I'd furnished mostly with my stuff because she was always too busy to shop. The TV was on mute in the background, some reality show she'd been binging, which felt ironically fitting. "Alex, seriously? Again with this?" she started, her tone dripping with exasperation. "If you don't like me partying with my exes, that's a you problem. They're my friends. Have been for years. Jake and I dated ages ago, but we vibe on a platonic level now. Same with Mike. It's not like I'm cheating or anything. You're just insecure. I stood there, feeling the weight of all those ignored concerns crash down. But I kept my voice steady. It's not insecurity, Sarah. It's respect. Seeing you out with them, getting cozy in pics, ignoring how it affects me. That's emotional abandonment. I've supported your fun, but it feels like you're comparing me to them constantly, like I'm the boring option. She laughed then, a sharp, dismissive bark that stung more than any shout. Comparing? Please. You're stable, Alex, and that's great. But yeah, sometimes I need excitement. Jake's spontaneous. He drags me out dancing till dawn. Mike's hilarious. Always has the best stories. You? You're home by 10, coding, or whatever. If you can't handle me having a life outside of us, that's twisted logic. Relationships aren't about controlling who I hang with. I nodded slowly, processing her words. No begging, no outburst, just clarity hitting me like a cold wave. You know what? You're right. It is a me problem. Her eyebrows shot up, surprised I wasn't fighting back. Exactly. So work on it. Therapy or something. And I just solved it. I added, turning toward the bedroom. What? She called after me, her smugness cracking a bit. I didn't respond. Instead, I grabbed a duffel bag from the closet and started packing. Essentials first: clothes, laptop, charger. She followed me in, leaning against the doorframe with her arms crossed again. What the hell are you doing? She demanded, her voice rising. Packing, I said simply, folding shirts without looking up. She snorted. Oh, come on. You're being dramatic. Put that down, we can talk. We just did, I replied evenly. You made it clear. Your partying with exes is non-negotiable, and my issue with it is my problem. So, I'm removing myself from the equation. Problem solved. Her face twisted, a mix of confusion and irritation. You can't just leave like this. We've been together 3 years. What about the apartment? Our friends? You're gonna throw it all away because I have a social life. It's not throwing away, it's detaching, I said, zipping the bag. You've been emotionally checking out for months, Sarah. The comparisons, the late nights, the dismissals. I've been loyal, committed, but I'm not a backup while you chase excitement with your exes. You want freedom? Have it. She stepped closer, her smug mask slipping into something more manipulative. Fine, go then. But you'll regret it. You'll be alone, boring as ever, while I'm out living. And don't think our friends will side with you. They know how jealous you are. This is all your twisted insecurity talking. I slung the bag over my shoulder, grabbed my keys. Maybe, but at least it'll be my life, on my terms. She followed me to the door, still justifying. You're making a huge mistake. Jake and Mike are just fun, nothing more. If you trusted me, this wouldn't be an issue. Your logic's flawed, Alex. Relationships require compromise, and you're not compromising. I paused at the threshold, meeting her eyes one last time. Compromise goes both ways. I've done my share. Goodbye, Sarah. And that was it. I walked out, heart pounding but head clear. Drove straight to a short-term rental I'd scoped online weeks earlier. Call it intuition. It was a small studio downtown, nothing fancy, but mine. Unpacked, sat on the bare mattress, and let the silence sink in. The confusion hit hard that night. Why wasn't I enough? Had I been blind to her manipulation? The unfairness burned. Me, the loyal one, left feeling discarded. But I didn't text her, didn't call. Just breathed through it. The next morning, I posted a pic on social media, my new key dangling from my finger, caption, problem solved. Subtle, no tags, no drama, just a quiet declaration. Friends started messaging, confused. Her? Radio silence at first. I blocked her temporarily, not out of spite, but to protect my peace. Spent the next days in a haze, alternating between work focus and staring at walls, processing the betrayal. It felt outrageous, her entitlement, her cruelty in that conversation. But I stayed composed, no drunken rants or revenge plots. Just me, rebuilding one step at a time. Little did I know, her fun world was about to implode. After walking out that door, I didn't look back, literally or figuratively. The first few days in my new studio were a blur of quiet chaos. I'd wake up to an empty bed, No familiar sounds of Sarah humming in the kitchen or her phone buzzing with party invites. Instead, just me and the hum of the city outside. I threw myself into work, nailing that promotion I'd been eyeing, the one I'd almost skipped events for because of her. Software engineering isn't glamorous, but it paid the bills and gave me structure. I started hitting the gym too, not for revenge body vibes, but because moving felt better than stewing. The silence was deafening at first. No texts from her, which surprised me, but I wasn't chasing. I'd unblocked her after a week, figuring if she reached out, I'd handle it calmly. Mutual friends started pinging me. Dude, what happened? I'd keep it vague. We grew apart. No trash talking, no details. Inside, though, the confusion lingered. I'd replay our conversations during runs, questioning everything. Why had I let her manipulation slide? The emotional abandonment, the constant comparisons, it all felt so undeserved now. Flashback to a month before the end. She'd canceled our anniversary dinner for a last-minute girls' night, which turned out to include Jake. I sat alone at the restaurant we'd booked, paying for 2 meals I didn't eat, while she posted laughs online. That night, she'd brushed off my hurt with, "You're too sensitive." Sitting with that memory in my new place, it stung, but it also fueled me. I wasn't begging for closure. I was building it myself. Weeks turned into months. I picked up hiking on weekends, solo treks up nearby trails, clearing my head with fresh air and podcasts. No more waiting for her to come home. My schedule was mine. I even started dating casually. Nothing serious, just testing the waters. The vulnerability faded, replaced by this calm clarity. I realized her fun was just avoidance, partying to dodge real connection. Me? I'd been committed, loyal, and yeah, maybe stable, but that wasn't a flaw. It was strength. The unfairness of it all breathed in those quiet moments. Her smug dismissals, her twisted logic making me the villain. But I didn't confront or outburst. I detached, disappeared into my own world. Social media stayed low-key, posts about code wins or trail views, no shade thrown. One evening, about 2 months in, a friend, let's call him Tom, part of our mutual circle, hit me up for beers. Over pints, he spilled. "Sarah's been spiraling a bit. That post of yours." She saw it, flipped out privately. I nodded, said nothing. Didn't gloat, didn't probe. Just let it hang. My internal voice had shifted by then, from "why me?" to "this is freedom." I was sitting with the betrayal, letting it teach me without letting it define me. No emotional outbursts, no desperate calls. Dignity felt like armor now. The arc was rising, slow but sure. I upgraded the studio to a 1-bedroom, furnished it my way, minimalist, functional. Work was thriving. I landed a side project that padded my savings. Life without her drama? Peaceful. The confusion ebbed, replaced by gratitude for the exit. I'd been mistreated, sure, but walking away was the win. It started with whispers from the grapevine, then snowballed into full karma overload. About 3 months post-breakup, Tom clued me in again. Sarah had officially upgraded her party scene, diving headfirst into nights out with Jake as her main squeeze. Mike was still around too, but Jake was the star, the adventurous one she'd praised. From what I heard, it was all thrills at first. Club hops, late-night adventures, her posts screaming, "living my best life." But cracks showed quick. The first hit came via a mutual friend, Jenna, who wasn't toxic like Sarah's inner circle, but honest. She texted, "Hey, thought you should know. Jake's not what he seems." Turns out, he'd been unstable for years. Mood swings, jealous rages masked as passion. Sarah ignored the warnings, too smug in her freedom. Then, one night at a downtown spot, it blew up. Jake flipped on her over a guy buying her a drink, screaming, smashing a glass. She downplayed it, but word spread. Friends started distancing. Her crew thinned when Jake's abusiveness became public. He wasn't just fun. He was chaotic, using her for ego boosts before ghosting for weekends with other women. Karma ramped up when her job unraveled. Marketing gig? She showed up hungover one too many times, botched a client pitch after a Jake-fueled all-nighter, got put on probation, then fired outright. Suddenly, the girl who mocked my boring stability was scrambling for rent. Her apartment, our old one, became a solo burden. She couldn't afford it alone. Moved to a dingy shared place on the outskirts, posting less, complaining more in group chats that leaked back to me. The irony hit hardest with our mutual friends. At first, some defended her. She's just figuring herself out. But as truths emerged, her emotional cheating vibes with exes, the manipulations, they flipped. Tom admitted, "We saw how she treated you, man. Dismissing your feelings like that? Not cool." Jenna cut ties after Sarah lashed out at her for taking sides. Isolation set in. Her family, always enabling, couldn't bail her out forever. The exes? Mike bailed early, calling her drama too much. Jake discarded her like yesterday's news, dumped her via text after a blowout, leaving her broke from covering his tabs. I didn't seek this out, it filtered in naturally. Pacing it slow in my mind, I reflected during hikes. Her betrayal felt outrageous, but watching it unfold from afar, satisfying without effort. No gloating. I didn't wish her ill, but consequences are real. Her reputation tanked. Job hunt stalled because her online trail screamed unreliability. Mutuals stopped inviting her places, siding quietly with me after seeing the hypocrisy. She who'd craved excitement ended up alone, scrolling regrets in a crappy room. By 6 months, she was unraveling fully, broke, isolated, irrelevant in the circles she'd prized. Friends confided she'd hit rock bottom, realizing too late what stability meant. The justice felt earned, ironic. The you problem became hers entirely. The attempt started subtle, then snowballed into desperation. Around month 4, my phone lit up with a text from Sarah. "Hey, Alex. Been thinking about us. Can we talk? Miss our talks." I stared at it during a work break, feeling nothing but detachment. Replied short, "No need. We're done." Blocked again? Nah, but I kept responses minimal. A week later, call attempt. I let it ring, then a voicemail. "Alex, pick up. I know I messed up, but that partying stuff? It was just fun, nothing serious. Jake was a mistake. He's unstable, treated me like crap. You were always so steady. Let's grab coffee, hash it out." Her voice cracked a bit, excuses flowing. I didn't call back. Escalation hit with her crew. First, her sister, Lisa, toxic enabler extraordinaire, messaged, "You're being childish, Alex. Sarah's hurting. She needs closure. Be a man and talk to her." Unpleasant guilt trip, implying I owed her. Then, a group chat ambush from 2 mutuals she'd roped in. "Come on, dude. She's sorry. Exes were platonic. Your jealousy blew it up." I exited the chat, no reply. By month 5, desperation peaked. She showed up at my new building, must have gotten the address from someone. Buzzed the intercom. "Alex, it's me. Please, let me up. I need to see you." I didn't buzz her in, but spoke through. "Sarah, go home. This is over." That's when anger surfaced, her true colors blazing. Another voicemail storm. "How dare you ignore me? After everything? You packed and left like a coward. Jake dumped me. Job's gone. Happy now? You're heartless, Alex. I thought you cared." Raging hypocrisy, blaming me for her fallout, twisting it like my detachment caused her mess. Friends and family piled on, unpleasant as hell. Lisa called. Family's worried. Sarah's depressed, isolating. Your fault for ghosting. She deserves a second chance. Exes meant nothing. A friend, pressured by her, texted, "Bro, she's unraveling. Talk to her before it's worse." I stayed firm, replying once. Her choices, her consequences. Respect my space. The final encounter sealed it. At Tom's birthday bash, month 7. Mutual gathering at a local bar. I showed with Emily, a woman I'd met hiking, supportive, drama-free. We clicked naturally. Sarah showed uninvited, eyes puffy, desperate. Spotted me laughing with Emily, approached. "Alex," she started, voice shaky. "Can we talk?" Privately. I turned, calm as ever. "No, Sarah. Enjoy the party." She pressed, glancing at Emily. "Who's she? Already replaced me? I messed up, okay? Partying was stupid. Jake abused me. Left me broke. Friends ditched. I see now you were right. Please, let's try again." Emily excused herself politely. I faced Sarah. "If you don't like how I've moved on, that's a you problem." I mirrored firm. "You discarded me, smug about your fun. I built something better. Works great. Life's peaceful. You're irrelevant now. A lesson learned." Her face crumpled, hypocrisy exposed. "But I love you." This is twisted. You're punishing me. No punishment, I said, evolved. Just growth. Goodbye for good. She stormed off, muttering. Party contrasted it all. Her alone, me thriving with Emily, friends nodding approval. Update. Years passed. I'm engaged to Emily, career soaring. Sarah? Faded from my world. Emotionally free, completely moved on. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.